Hey everyone, welcome to week 8. Just going to take a couple minutes to go over the agenda for week 8. Most of it is pretty straightforward and typical, but there is some important information that's included on the agenda, so I want to make sure that I draw your attention to that information and explain it to you thoroughly. Go ahead and take a look. All right. So of course, the first thing you'll have to do is take the week 8 attendance quiz in order to access the lessons and assignments for the week. Don't forget that the questions on the week 8 attendance quiz come from the material that we covered in week 7. So if you are a little bit behind, you're going to want to catch up, not only so that you can take the week 8 attendance quiz, but we are getting closer and closer to the end of the term, so we need to start catching up anyway. Before we run out of time to do so. All right. Once you have taken the week 8 attendance quiz, the first thing you'll see, of course, is a quick review of week 7. Then we have one lesson for the week, and it is over the short story you read for homework last week, which was Everyday Use by Alice Walker. So make sure you look over the PowerPoint and watch the video lesson. The information that's in that lesson is what you will need for the short stories exam in week 10, right? Our homework for week 8, we have journal 8. Make sure that you watch the 2 videos located in the assignment instructions. The first video just explains what you're being asked to do in the journal prompt. And of course, the second video is the follow-up to the discussion from last week. So try to have that finished by Sunday night. Your next assignment is our last short story. It is Speech Sounds by Octavia Butler. So make sure you read the story and answer the questions that are located in the assignment. There's a video in the assignment instructions that explains, what you need to do and what the questions are all about. So try to have that completed by Sunday night. We have the week 8 discussion. So watch the video located in the discussion prompt and then try to have your first post up by Thursday night and respond to 2 classmates by Sunday night. Right? This little bit right here at the end of the agenda is what I really wanted to make sure we talked about here in this announcement video. Week 8 is the late work deadline for this class. So week 8 is the last week you can submit late work from weeks 1 through 7. Any late items from weeks 1 through 7 must be submitted by Sunday of week 8 if you wish to receive points for those items. But keep in mind the late work policy will still apply, right? So choose wisely, what you work on first, and then work your way, towards those items that aren't going to get you as many points. Basically what I'm saying is looking at any assignments you might be missing, it makes more sense to submit the late items that will get you the most points first, right? And then if you have time, keep working backwards, right? Some assignments you're going to want to do regardless because they will help prepare you for the short stories exam. But, just keep in mind anything from weeks 1 through 7 has to be submitted by the end of week 8 if you want to receive any points at all for them. If you try to submit something from week 6 next week in week 9, I won't accept it because the late work deadline for weeks 1 through 7 is the end of this week, week 8, right? Now, let's say you kind of fall behind here in week 8 for whatever reason. Will I accept late work next week in week 9? I will, but only for the week 8 items, right? So anything that you're doing that's assigned here in week 8, if you don't get it finished by Sunday night, I will still accept it during week 9. But that is the only late work I will accept, right? Anything from weeks 1 through 7 has to be submitted this week, okay? Now, as for the discussion, normally I leave the discussion open a full extra week so that students can still post for at least half credit. We're getting too close to the end of the term, so I'm not going to leave the week 8 discussion open for a full extra week. I am only going to leave it open until Wednesday of week 9. All right, so you do get a few extra days to post for half credit, but I'm not giving you the full week. There's just, we're getting too down to the wire here, right? So got to make sure that we are getting caught up completely so that we can all focus on what we need to do in the last week, week and a half of the term. That's for you and for me. All right. So the late work policy, that is to help keep you on track and get you caught up to where you need to be so that you can focus on the short stories exam in week 10. It's also for my benefit so that I can focus on getting the last items of the term graded in time, because remember, week 10 is a short week. We only have until Thursday in week 10, and then final grades for the course have to be submitted the following day, right? So I need to be able to focus my time and energy on getting those last minute grades, things from week 9 and week 10 entered, right? So you don't need to be worrying about late items by that point. I don't need to be worrying about late items by that point, right? If you have any questions about, submitting late work and, any specific questions about this policy, please reach out, okay? If you have any questions about anything here in week 8, please reach out, all right? Otherwise, you guys are free to go ahead and get started.